So Tyrell, about a month ago, Bellator sent out a little press release. It was talking about a whole bunch of fighters who had re-upped their deal with the promotion, and you were one of those fighters. Was it an easy decision to stay with Bellator?
Of course, that's my home.
Yeah, it is your home, literally, because they have taken you from when you were you were just making your professional debut, and you have stayed with Bellator throughout. And what does it mean to be one of these fighters who stays with, the promotion takes you on, Bellator takes you on from your rookie fight all the way up to where you are right now as the number five ranked heavyweight in the promotion.
Yep. And no, I mean, I think we have developed a really good, strong relationship. I love working for Bellator. I always get excited just to even see the staff really and hang out with those guys the week of my fight. And we all have our own little different personal jokes and stuff too. So it's really cool. I mean, I really love working with these guys and being a part of their team.
Now, as of late, you've been faced up with some really tough competition over the last couple of years. You've had Matt Mitrione, Tim Johnson, who challenged not too long ago for interim heavyweight title. That was last year. Linton Vassell. Have you felt the benefit of facing guys who, have more MMA experience with you?
Yeah, no, I mean, I feel like in my weight class and where and how far I've progressed, that's gonna happen naturally. Me still being very young in the sport, I've only been in it for 5 years, and I only have what 15 fights. So no, it's I'm going to be fighting who always will have twice as many fights as me. So I think that's just a normal. That's just how it works.
Mhm. And what does it mean to, you mentioned you've only been in the sport 5 years, and here you are already the number five ranked fighter in the promotion, having faced some tough competition like the ones I've said. What does it mean to you to have risen up like this quickly in the sport?
Oh, man, I think it's pretty slow. I think I should be up higher, honestly, if these guys that were in front of me would give me fucking fights. But um, I mean, I just try to fight and finish everybody I fight. So that I mean to me, it don't mean shit. Honestly, five don't mean anything until I'm a champion. So if you're not first, you're last. That's how I look at it. So it doesn't. I don't think I'll really be satisfied until I'm the champ.
Now you had earlier this year you had a very quick victory against Joaquin Cleveland. That was in April, and it was a pretty quick finish, under 2 minutes. How needed was that kind of victory after the fight with Linton Vassell, where it was very close, but ultimately two of the judges saw it for Linton.
Mm-hmm. I think it's always important just to get back in the win column and get the ball rolling again. That fight for me was it kind of I feel like that fight hurt me a lot just from getting a title shot sooner. So now I'm back in the point where I still have to prove myself and get these wins back up and get myself in that conversation again. Yeah, that was a close fight, but just you got to win. You got to find a way to win, and you can't leave it up to the judges. So I can't, I'm not really sour about that just because it was it was my fight to lose. I feel like.
I was going to ask, do you feel like you should have had your hand raised against Linton? Do you feel like you did enough
Uh,
that one?
Nah, I mean that's not nah. If I don't finish you, then it's not then I can't be upset with what you could with what the results come out because I had my opportunity to finish you, and I didn't do that. So I try not to look at that as like a of what they saw. I don't know what the judges are looking at or what they see. So no, I don't look at it like that. As if I didn't finish you, then it's it's up in the air.
Fair, all fair. Now, going to that win against Rakim, it was your fourth win in five fights. Obviously, the one sole loss was the Linton fight. Three of those wins came in the first round, and two were within that span of 2 minutes. You combine that with your number five ranking, combined with the fact that you faced veteran competition. What do you feel like a win over Daniel here is going to do for you?
Nothing. Daniel has not even fought in Bellator. This is his first fight in Bellator. He's not in any rankings. I'm number five, and if I want to be champ, I need to fight four, three, two, or one. So Daniel does nothing but keep the ball rolling. If anything, I'll have everything to lose in this fight. If I lose, Daniel looks like he's somebody, and I look like I don't deserve the number fifth spot. So nothing really. It's just me going out there and trying to get another finish.
Well, if
I
you
have everything to lose, and he has everything to gain in this fight.
fair, but if you get another strong finish, first round, early second round, do you think that's going to force Bellator to basically have to give you one of these top four guys?
Yeah, honestly, it's not Bellator stopping me from getting them. So it's not.
It's
It's
them.
not. It's the fighters. Yeah, it's the fucking fighters. So it's not Bellator doing it. It's the fighters. So I don't. I can't. I can no longer put that on Bellator as I did before. I felt like it was there, but no, I don't think it's not Bellator's problem. They try to get me these fights, and I push for them very hard, and they know that. And so I can't. It's not really up to me. Like I was supposed to fight Steve Mowry, but then he got an injury, and that's how King Cleveland came up. So I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I feel like maybe these guys need to, if you aren't, to me, I feel like if you are in these top ranked spots and you aren't defending your spot by fighting another top ranked guy or a guy who's trying to move up, or you're not fighting a guy in front of you, then you got to move out the way, regardless of you having injuries or whatever the fuck it is. I think you got to move out the way because you're just holding up, you're just trying to hold your spot. And I know, some guys may get injured, but to me, I think it's all excuses. Because even in that Linton Vassell fight, I went into that fight with an injury, with a back injury. I didn't give a fuck, and I didn't use that as an excuse, for me not to fight or me to fight somebody else because I want to fight tough competition. I want to fight the best. So if I feel like if you don't have that mindset, then just step aside. We don't have to fight. If you don't want to fight me, then fucking move and let me fight the guy in front of you. But don't argue for me not to fight past you if you're not trying to give me the fight.
So in front of you right now, I just pulled up the Bellator rankings. You have obviously Ryan Bader's the champ. You have Moldavsky, the former interim champ. You got Vassell, Fedor, and Chekongo. Who do you think you could get a fight with? Like who do you think would be most willing to say yes? Or have you had experiences trying to get one of these guys and they've just flat out told you no?
Fedor, I ain't fighting. His old ass, he's probably gonna sit there, and I don't even make sense for his ass to even be on the rankings because he ain't fought in over a year. So to me, it doesn't make sense for him to even be there.
And
Chad
I believe
Congo,
he said his next fight's the last one.
yeah, exactly. He's his last one, so I don't see why he's even there still. Chet Congo, I think there's a chance maybe to fight him. I kind of asked for that one after this one, if it makes sense, depending on where it's at. I just fought Linton and lost, so I think asking for a turnaround rematch doesn't really work. And Linton's already fought Moldavsky, and he's already fought Ryan Bader in the previous weight class. So I think him up there is not. I can't. There's after just losing to him, I can't say shit about that. Or I'll definitely take Moldavsky. I've asked for Moldavsky numerous times too. So all these guys I've asked to fight before. I've asked to fight Moldavsky. I fought Linton. I asked to fight Chet Congo a few fights ago. So there's nobody that I don't turn down any fights. So I will fight anyone. But I think, for as far as me progressing up to the championship fight, I need to fight the guys in front of me. And that way there's no dispute on me getting that shot.
Mm-hmm.
But I think after this fight, me fighting someone like Czech or Moldavsky, whichever one I can get lined up with, I'll take.
So let's talk about your fight with Daniel. He has fought once in Bellator, and I was all the way back in 2014. Ever since then, it's been LFA,
Oh,
ACA.
he did fight with Bellator in 2014. I didn't see that.
Yeah, it was like all the way back. It's been
Okay.
about 8 years. But LFA, ACA primarily. I think he was even held gold in ACA. But what have you seen of Daniel, and what are your thoughts of him as a fighter and as an opponent?
He's an old ass man, like everybody else. Uh, he has he's been fighting for a long time. He has a kickboxing background. So I think for me that obviously I can use the wrestling ace that I have at any time, but I don't like wrestling. I'd rather go out there and knock his ass out, get a finish, and that's what I always look for. So that's exactly what I'm looking to execute. I think with having the wrestling threat as my background, it'll be easy. It should be pretty easy, I think, for me to kind of utilize that and set it up. But we'll see. It's a fight. I think you always, no matter who my opponent is, I try to always be prepared for anything because they can throw a curveball. So no, I think I have all the advantages in this fight, as far as like power, speed, and skill set. And I just have to make sure I utilize them and don't get caught with anything stupid.
You predicting a quick finish?
Yes.
Other note, one other note about the fight. Yeah, you're going to be competing in Chicago, big stage with Bellator, but also this is Daniel James's hometown, so you may not get a warm reception there. You could, if your crowd goes and boos you, you're going to have fun with it, or just does it not matter?
Nigga, do you know about Chicago? I'm not trying to get shot. I'm in and out, boy. I don't give a fuck about none of that. I don't care about the crowd. The crowd means nothing to me. Like I'm not entertaining them, and I don't want to entertain them when it comes to shit like that. You know, I think it's a business, and I think it'll be hard for him to get beat up in front of his family and friends enough. So I don't need to invoke or push that envelope with that at all. To me, I'm just there to do a job. It just happens to be my job is to beat you up.
One last thing, talking about goals for as 2023 is about to come in. Obviously, we talked about potentially facing one of these top four guys. Do you think by the end of 2023 you could be holding the Bellator heavyweight title?
These guys will fight me or move out the way. It's this game. It has so many different politics when it comes to who you fight, when you fight them, and how that lines up with their training camp, their injuries, whatever the surgeries, whatever's going on. So as I've learned and progressed in the sport, I know that it's so much more than me just telling Bellator, hey, let me get number 3, let me get number 2, let me get this guy, because there's so much more behind that they even have to go through with this guy to get him to sign the contract. So I would hope, I would pray that will happen. But like I last fought in April, and now I'm fighting in November. I don't care if I would fight Joe Schmo as long as I don't have to wait that long. So to me, I just want to fight. If I can get 3 fights a year is what I mean, minimum what I would like, but that doesn't really work out like that. So I just try to, as long as I can get in the cage, I'm happy.
November 18th, Bellator 288. Tyrell Fortune here going to be taking on Daniel James as part of the main card in Chicago on November 18th. Tyrell, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.